I'm here today to talk about somebody who is undoubtedly Britain's favourite writer. Why was he such a popular writer? I mean, really, he is the first kind of superstar author of the time. He's a bit like J.K. Rowling or Dan Brown, if you like. There is no other author before or since Dickens who has captured what the essence of living in London and what London life was like in the Victorian age. London is a separate character in his books. It's often the main character in his books. It is a true rags to riches story. He starts with nothing and he ends with everything. He starts his life in a very, very awful, terrible situation. He ends up as this guy here. This is a very famous painting called Dickens' Dream, and he works in Warren's blacking warehouse. This was an absolutely dreadful, dreadful time of his life. He's treated appallingly. Often he has 10-hour days with just dreadful cruelty. He's beaten again and again and again for not doing his job properly. Eventually, he's allowed to finish work in the blacking factory, and he does go to school. He goes to the Wellington Academy, which was just here. But it was shit. It was absolutely terrible. The teacher was awful. Teaching was awful. The lost child, the abandoned child, the child who has to look after himself, becomes a very common theme in his book. A lot of his children characters are orphans who've lost everything. They have nothing. A lot of people criticise Dickens for his portrayal of female characters, and it's true, a lot of his female characters are a bit useless. They're a bit wet, they're a bit, oh, come on, girl. And by his own admission, he doesn't write very well for women. And it's probably because he has a big problem with women. And we can trace this problem back to his mother's actions here. He never forgets what his mother did. Dickens, who shows the rich people and the middle class people of Britain, people are living like this in London. And at the beginning, nobody believes that people are living in these conditions. So there we go. The introduction to probably one of the most towering figures of English literature, really. Are the Victorian writers like Thomas Hardy, Thackeray. They're very popular, but it's Dickens who's the one that people keep coming back to. It's Dickens' characters are the ones that we know, and it's the social changes that Dickens were pushing which are still felt to this day. The fact that he changed the country in lots of ways got to be something applauded. If you go and see Oliver, if you go and see any theatre or TV show, just remember that Dickens, this guy, the rags to riches story, but this dark, weird, obsessive nature that was hidden behind it. Possibly a genius. Anyway, have a lovely weekend. See you on Monday.